Hey, good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. For those of you who, like me, were fasting all day, I hope you had an easy and meaningful fast, and that you have now, like me, rehydrated and had some food and are, settled in now and feeling better if you weren't feeling good. I actually happen to fast really, really, really well now. I used to not. I used to really struggle through fasts like this. But, over the last 3.5 years, as I changed the way I eat and changed, pretty much everything and gotten my system really in a healthy place, my body does really, really, really well with fasts. And I actually intentionally put myself into a fat burn always the week before a fast, because when I go into a fast and fat burn, or I just sail right through it, and I come out feeling great, energized. So it's a whole different world than it was for me 3.5 years ago when I started this plan. But I wanted to talk to you tonight about something that actually sort of came across my mind, and I think about this a lot. But it was really, really powerful today in the fast, and that is when something is completely, completely, completely off limits to you. Or to me, I was thinking about it into my factor. When something is completely, completely, completely off limits, it's not even an option. It doesn't even, right? I'm not going to go and break that if it's completely off limits. And where I often think about this is when, hey, Michael, is when I'm thinking about keeping kosher, right? So for those of you who do not keep kosher or do not know what that means, so kosher is is our Jewish dietary laws, right? So there are certain things that we don't eat when we keep kosher. We don't eat shellfish. We don't mix milk and meat, right? There are a whole bunch of rules and regulations, and there are certain things, and meat has to be slaughtered a certain way. So, your meat has to be kosher to be able to have it, right? So I did not grow up keeping kosher. I grew up eating everything. We don't eat pork. We don't eat, right? That's another big one. I didn't eat shellfish as a kid. I didn't like fish. I actually learned to like fish as an adult after I started keeping kosher. So that was not an issue. Shrimp and lobster and mussels and all those things never ever tempted me. But there are things that I ate as a kid that weren't kosher. I mixed milk and meat for sure. I loved a good cheeseburger. And so, right, those things, but now, not that I wouldn't like them. I know that they would taste good now, but they don't tempt me, right? If somebody sticks a cheeseburger in front of my face, I might say, that smells really good. That looks really good. But I wouldn't be tempted to take a bite of it, right? Because it's off limits. It's off limits. It's against, keeping, laws of kosher. I wouldn't eat it, right? It wouldn't even faze me. I could look at it, stare at it. It wouldn't, tempt me. But that chocolate chip cookie that is totally fine sitting in front of my face, well, then forget about it, right? Forget about it. That's going to tempt me, and that's going to call my name. And I find this fascinating. Fascinating how our minds work. That when something is completely off limits, it doesn't bother us. It doesn't tempt us the same way as it does when there's this window of opportunity. Hey, Amy, when there's this window of opportunity that we can actually tell ourselves that it's okay to have it, right? Anything that I can tell myself that it's okay to have, I can talk myself in or out of anything. But I was really thinking about that today, right? Today was the past couple of days have been really stressful. This whole past week, right? As you guys know, I've been talking about it. I'm planning my daughter's bat mitzvah. It's coming up. It's 3 weeks from now. I've got a lot to do. Today I was, sort of running around doing certain things that I could get taken care of, and I was really stressed out. I was feeling very, very overwhelmed with everything that has to be done, and feeling in a way that I feel like I'm missing things, right? I don't know if you've ever planned an event and you get this, right? You just, right? And right now, I just sort of feel like so many things are out of my control. There are people that I'm waiting for back for numbers. I'm waiting to hear from the caterer. I'm waiting all these things that I know will be fine. I've planned enough events. I used to be an event planner. So I know all this stuff is going to be fine, but it's weighing on me. And today I was getting stuff done, and I got up and I was pacing back and forth. And I found myself standing in the kitchen twice today, and it was completely, I was hungry because I was fasting, but it was completely out of stress and old bad habits. But I stopped and I said to myself, I'm like, it's a fast day, right? I can't eat, right? I was not going to break my fast early, right? I didn't have a physical need to break my fast. I actually was feeling great from my fast. Like I started this, I fast really well. And I went and I even picked up my water bottle. I'm like, because when we fast, a complete fast is no food or water for 26, the full fast is 26 hours. right? But it was, I drink water, stress drink water. There's a bottle of water that sits next to me all the time. It's sitting right here, sitting right next to me, right? It sits next to me all the time, all day long. And when I'm stressed, I'll drink my water, right? Which is a great healthy habit. It's how I get my water in. But today, it was one of those things that it was not even, I had to find something else to relieve that stress, right? I had to do something else. I actually took my daughter out. We had to go run a few errands. Right. And so we went and took care of that. I was on the phone with somebody, and where I would have found myself in the kitchen going to eat something because I was stressed, because I was talking about everything that was going on. And instead I walked out the front door. It was beautiful out today. And I was pacing up and down in front of our house, right? Because I wasn't going to go too far. But those things, right? It was not even an option. It was not an option in my world because it was completely off limits for today. Right? It was completely off limits for today. I can tell you, if it had been a non-fast day, I probably would have had a really rough day, and I would have ended up eating the house because that was where my head was. But now I feel amazing, actually, because these things give me the realization that I know that wasn't going to fix my stress. I know that wasn't going to make me feel better, right? And because it was totally off limits, I didn't touch it. Right? Which is where boundaries come in. I know a lot of times people say to me when they start, I could never give up whatever forever, right? But why not? Certain things we can. And nothing, when somebody goes on to the weight loss phase with me, nothing is gone forever, right? When we start, nothing is gone forever. Things can come back. But there are certain things you're going to find that are going to be gone forever, right? There are certain things that I loved before I started my weight loss, before I really started to get healthy, that I loved, that I don't touch now. Not because I wouldn't love them, but they actually don't tempt me anymore because I've learned that I feel so much better when I don't have them, right? I mean, one of those things for me is bananas. I love bananas. Love them, love them, love them, love them, right? I used to eat several of them a day. And bananas, fruit is healthy in the right quantities, right? But I know what happens when I eat bananas. They're very high in sugar, right? And I end up being bloated and not feeling good. They do not sit well with my system. I haven't had a banana in 3.5 years, right? Well, actually, that's not true. I know that they don't sit well because I had tried once when I hit my goal, and I was into transition when I was adding them back in, and I saw how it did not do well with my system, and they got pulled right back out. I don't have them. They don't even tempt me. They're sort of one of those things that have in my life become off limits. Milk is the same way. I drink milk. It makes me sick. I don't drink it anymore. I don't touch it. Right? So there are certain things like that in our lives, and it's amazing how we can do that. When there's some reason that it becomes off limits to us, it doesn't faze us. I don't know if anybody else can resonate with this, right? But I marvel at it all the time, right? That, like I said, these things that I used to love when I kept kosher, not that I wouldn't like them now. I'm not saying that, right? It doesn't say that they don't look good or they don't smell good, but it doesn't tempt me because there's a reason I'm not having it anymore. And I think that that's really, really, really powerful because it doesn't just go along with food. I mean, I'm talking about it now with food, but it applies to everything in our lives. When something is totally for a real concrete reason, not just that you said I'm not having this anymore, but when you have a real reason to say this is off limits, it takes that temptation out of it. It's the difference between making a decision and making a choice, right? A decision, you decide something. I decided I was going to keep kosher, right? There's no choice in there, right? Either something is kosher and I can have it, or it's not kosher and I can't have it, right? One or the other, right? That's the same thing with any power of any clearly making a decision, right? Hey, Gail, clearly making a decision, and that goes along with everything. Anything that you want to change in your life, whether it's food, whether it's finances, whether it's a relationship, right? You need to make a decision, truly decide that you want something, know why you want it, right? Your why's got to be strong enough. Truly decide it, and then that temptation goes away. Those choices go away. I was having this conversation actually the other day with somebody who was really, really struggling on program and, gets tempted. And she said, I don't understand how, this person and this person and this person can lose all this weight and never be tempted by things. And I said, I don't know that they weren't tempted by them, but their why was so strong. The decision that they made to get healthy was so strong that doesn't, it shifts in your mind. right? It doesn't even become a temptation because you've made a decision. And if it's a health thing, you've made a decision, and those chocolate chip cookies, they're not a choice because that doesn't go along with the decision that you made, right? You make a decision to clean up your finances. That random shopping spree isn't a temptation because it doesn't go along with the choices that you've made, with the decision that you made, right? All of those things, it's so powerful to think about this way. So really stop and think in your life, what is it that you want? And what decision do you need to make to get there? What do you need to decide? And what do you need to set as a solid off limits? Because when you set it as a solid off limits and you have a real reason for it, it makes it so easy. It really does, right? It really does. And I'm not saying that today wasn't stressful for me, right? And I said that. I ended up in the kitchen several times, but it was there was no choice. I wasn't going to eat. I wasn't going to eat to relieve my stress today because there was no choice in it. I had made the commitment that I was keeping this fast for the full day, right? The full 26 hours. And there was no choice, right? I wasn't going to have it, right? And then that passed. I worked through it. I was really productive today. So tonight when I did go to break my fast, I was eating for nourishment, right? But I don't feel like going in the kitchen and stress eating now because I was able to deal with the stress head on today and feel so much better. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I can't say what tomorrow's going to bring. I may be feeling like I want to eat the house again, and I'm going to have to deal with that tomorrow and make that decision once again. But I know what's important to me. So that's what I would say. Figure out, make your decision, know your why, and then set your limits. Set your structure. We live and thrive by structure. So many of us feel like structure restrains us, right? But really, that structure gives us freedom. That structure gives us the power to be able to create the life that we want, right? That's what we want to do. That's what we're trying to do here, creating the life that we want, right? So it is 11:05. My goal was to be off technology by 11 o'clock every night. I am running a little bit behind tonight because we didn't break the fast fast didn't end until almost 9:30, and I had to get Emma in bed she was fasting because she is of bat mitzvah age, and so I'm just running behind. So I'm wrapping my stuff up. I intend to be off my technology within the next probably 10 minutes or so I'm running a little bit behind tonight, but that's pretty cool for not really getting on and doing anything and being so far behind with everything tonight. But I hope you have a great night. I would love to hear your feedback on this topic. And what is something, either put it in the comments or shoot me a message. What is something where you have set yourself that has set yourself to be off limits, and then it's made it easy and you've grown from it? I would love to hear it. Or the reverse, if that doesn't work for you, right? I'd love to hear both sides because not everything works for everybody. And if anybody tells you that the only thing that they say or the only thing that they talk about is the one way to go, they're not. I'm just telling you what works for me. What did I end up eating for breakfast? I had salmon and green beans, like I always have, or like I frequently have. Actually, I broke my fast. No, that is what I broke my fast with, and then I had a bar afterwards. Amy. So salmon and green beans, that's my favorite. So have a great night, everybody. I am off to finish wrapping up what I need to get done on my technology so I can get a good, healthy night's sleep and kick off the day or run in tomorrow and feel good tomorrow. See you later. Bye.